bing, you blow their brains all over your nice Ivy League suit.
Welcome to the Goon Squad First 40. This is the First 40 we do on YouTube. We do our overtime 90-minute show on Blog Talk Radio. How you doing, Black?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. Happy to be here.
All right. I know you're upset about Spike Lee. Maybe we'll get to that later. How you doing, Ice?
I'm good, brother. Very good, man. How you doing?
All right. Let's get this started with the NBA eye test. If you guys want to, I didn't put it on the list. If you guys want to talk about Spike Lee, that's fine with me. But I didn't plan on talking about it. I'll go to you, Black, for the eye test on the NBA, man. What have you been seeing this week? And that is a special note that you want to mention on the show.
I have some problems. I hope you can hear me, but
yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. For some reason, man, I don't know if it's my Wi-Fi. I'm trying to change it soon anyway. But yeah, man, I'll start with Spike Lee, man. That's cool. I'll go with that, and I'll leave the eye test to Ice because when the story first broke, I tried to avoid it, and I heard some people talking about on the radio, and I guess he went on ESPN, and he act like they done it wrong. I don't get that when I look at this situation.
Ice, Spike Lee, man, what do you think about this situation?
I see it from both sides. I do. I know what New York, the Knicks are trying to do, messing up as usual. But I mean, some people said Spike is over the top, and they don't think it's that big a deal, and I get that. But come on, he's been going to the game over 20 years. He's spending $300,000, bruh, to watch them sorry ass Knicks. I'm here to tell you, you can't tell that man that you changed the policy, that he's been going in the wrong door for 28 years. You can at least alert him. $300,000, and you still watching that garbage? I mean, I get what they're saying. He shouldn't be upset, but why is it, and maybe he is a little bit over the top, but you cannot tell me that they could not inform that man that he needs to start going into another room, another door. And they do have a door for VIPs, but several other people have said they know that the VIPs do constantly go in that door. So you're going to make a change. You can't alert him. $300,000. And you can say you're over the top or whatever. I'd have a problem with it my damn self.
Well, Black, when I wasn't going to, and I wasn't going to really even talk about this because I think it's so stupid. Mm-hmm. But I saw a clip of Spike Lee talking about it. And when Max Kellerman said, listen, you've been going to the games for about 30 years, about $300,000 a year. He said, you've probably been spending about $10 million. The look on Spike Lee's face looked like he was dumbfounded. Like he got played, actually. You could have, you sponsored maybe a few of the bums that the Knicks had on their roster. You could have done a movie. Remember he was asking for movies for money for the Malcolm X movie? That $10 million could have went to that. I mean, and the Knicks haven't done anything in about 30 years. And so he even said, oh, man, I feel like a fool now. Yeah, you should. They got your money. They don't care if you don't come for the rest of the year. And he didn't even have the guts to say, I'm not coming again until the ownership change. I'll be back next year, but I ain't coming this year. There's only like 19 games left this year. And I don't know how many home games there is, Black. What's the difference? Who cares if you don't go to the game for the rest of the year, Black?
I'm going to say this, man. As Spike Lee has been known for the New York Knicks, the mere fact, bro, they've been charging you all these years after you've been known and been like a staple says a lot, bro. Yeah. They don't care nothing about you. And they told you when you got an elevator, you to come on. I'm not getting out. See, here you go, bro. You felt like you own part of the team, and that's the problem with the New York Knicks fans from New York. It's like a tourist attraction. You've been paying 30 years for that garbage, bro. You deserve to be played and treated like that. I'm sorry, I don't care what anybody said. The mere fact you never got pissed off enough that the Knicks never done enough to put a good product on the floor, and you paid what you thought you was a Black Jack Nicholson that you've been in LA, but you're not. So I don't feel sorry for him one bit, bro. The brother did get played. You spent that money paying for the Knicks. You should have better stop going to him. But you want to sit there and people know Spike Lee. You should be focusing more on doing movies. When last time you done a good movie in the first place? So I don't feel sorry for the brother. I mean, I'm not saying Dolan does some bad things, but I'm not blaming Dolan for this one. They basically changed the policy. Like I said, they could have told me in advance, but guess what? They didn't tell you. They told you, get out of the elevator, get your ass out of the elevator, bro. Move out.
Man, you crazy.
Sorry.
You are crazy as hell. $300,000. I've done the same damn thing. Are you kidding me? Come on, bro. So you would have went. Let me ask you this question real quick. So you paying $300,000. They said, Black Thor, get your ass out the elevator. You're like, okay, yes, sir.
No. My point is this. His $300,000, he was always coming through the wrong elevator, Ice. Yeah. And at night, they said, you can no longer use this. You got to come out, bro. You got to come out. I'm not getting out there. Why not? See, now you got in your feelings because you spent, but Ice, he spent the $300,000 to watch a sorry basketball team. He spent $300,000 going in the wrong elevator. That's the problem.
But I guess my point is, let me ask you a question though. Isn't it common courtesy? He could have went to the next game, went to the door the next night. I'm just asking for $300,000.
But why should the security guard at that point look at him and see dollar signs? If he's doing his job or her job, it's not about how much Spike's been spending. You can no longer come to this entrance. Once they tell you that, go around the other way. It's not that far to walk. But his ego got in the way. I've been spending this money, but that's your fault for spending the money.
I get you. I'm going to say this last thing. I'm going to get off of it. I agree with you 100%, but he ain't the only one with the ego. That was somebody else. If that was Jack Nicholson, did Jack Nicholson go to the other entrance? Hell no. Nah. And you can take that for wherever you want to. I'm just keeping that real. Usually I don't even get into that race thing, but I'm going to keep it to you 100. Would they have made Jack Nicholson go to another entrance? No.
I guess my thing is, and I wish I'd listened to some of the stations in New York about this and how they felt about this, is that the Knicks keep getting in the news cycle, and I don't know why. I don't know why. And I think it keeps getting in the news cycle because of the owner. And one of my buddies from New Haven, we were texting back and forth early today, and he was saying, yeah, Nolan needs to sell the team. And I kind of felt like you, Black. I was like, well, you're making billions. Why would you sell the team if you're making billions? And he got Spike. Over the last 30 years, he got $10 million out of Spike Lee. $10 million. And if I was Spike Lee, I'd be ashamed of myself that I gave $10 million and you put this piss poor product on the floor, and I'm paying for this every night, going through this drudgery. And one of my friends who actually is a Knicks fan, like, that's why I watch it from the cozy confines of my home. I don't even watch it anymore. If the Knicks are on national television, I don't even watch it anymore because, you know, I want to root for my team. It's my team from my childhood. But until they change the owner and do something that seriously resembles a NBA basketball team, I can't sit there and watch. It's too painful to watch. Black?
No, I don't think it's I want to approach something and I said, it's not about black and white, bro. I hear again, if you're a worker, just imagine you're at your job and somebody come to your job and say something to you and they say it off key, you're not thinking about who this person is, what color they are. You're going to be dealt with. And he got dealt with. I'm going to say this about Dolan. We could talk about Dolan, but the guy's a shrewd businessman. I was reading this week. I didn't realize this. He owns the Forum, I think I'm saying it correctly, in California. MSG does. You know, you get ready to sell that to the owner of the Clippers? Wow. Yes. Think about this. He's in New York. He's got property in California. They get ready to, because the Clippers they want to move out to Staples. So my point is, we can bash him all he want. He can play his guitar all he want. When it comes to business, he's shrewd. He gets it done. Think about this. He's getting ready to sell a place where the Clippers can play basketball. I got no more to say.
Black Thor, I'm gonna say this, brother. I respect everything you just said. My only question was, when this worker, as you mentioned, just doing his job, if Jack Nicholson came up there for the game, would they have told Jack Nicholson to go to another door instead of that door, instead of Spike? That's all I'm gonna ask.
As a New Yorker, hell yes.
Well, look.
Oh, yes.
Look.
You, bro.
Hey, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna get off of it. I'm glad that you had that confidence in the New York workers. I think that's BS, but it's good. It's good. We're gonna leave it right there. I think it's BS, but it's good.
I ain't been home in a long time, but I do remember. Oh yeah.
No, it's required to tell Jack that, bro.
I think they'd rather say, ain't that the dude from The Shining?
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's required to tell Jack that.
Whatever.
All right.
Joker. All right, Joker. Go through interest 31. It's March Madness. We have some of the male teams in college that are in their tournaments, in the first round of tournaments. The women have already started their tournament. It's the end of the season for a lot of folks. Texas A&M just popped Auburn. I was watching that game.
Ooh.
I'm about to switch it. Yeah. Texas A&M, they're going to be a dangerous team in the SEC tournament, conference tournament, because they've been playing real tough. Providence out the Big East has been playing real tough too, and they got a big game tonight. They've been beating a lot of top 25 teams that have been coming their way, and they're very scary at home. Seton Hall is playing tonight. Florida State is about to play Notre Dame. Notre Dame is trying to punch their ticket into the dance later on this month. And Florida State needs this win to stay with Louisville, Louisville is on top of the ACC right now. Give me your eye test, Icewater, of NCAA basketball, man, and maybe some of the bubble teams that you're seeing out there.
It's crazy, real crazy, because you think about all of the stuff that has happened. You look at Baylor over Texas Tech, you know, that win. You also look at St. John's beating Creighton. It goes all the way around the block where you go, Virginia beats Duke. It is so up and down. You see Providence over Villanova over and over again, and Illinois is winning. I told you from the beginning, I thought this was going to be a crazy tournament. I still think it's going to be crazy. To me, there's no dominant team. You saw San Diego State get popped, Gonzaga before, so many other teams. The one that you mentioned, two bubble teams. And I'm sorry that they both come from the Big Ten, but you have to be impressed. If they can get to 20 wins or more, they might be in the tournament. One of those teams is Rutgers. Rutgers is 19-11. They have played a bunch of teams. They beat Maryland, they beat Seton Hall, they beat Penn State, Indiana, Illinois. It goes on, and they're right there. They beat Ohio State. If they can win a game or two, even in a tournament, maybe 20, 21 games, I don't see why they don't get in a tournament. A team that's not playing real well right now is Indiana, but they've beaten everybody. They beat San Diego State earlier in the season. They beat Ohio State earlier. They have some monumental games that they won, but lately they've been losing a lot of games. If those two teams get inside to the tournament, it could be a problem for some people because they're not the best teams in the country, but the way that they match up and the way that they play hard, you don't want to play them. For those that don't know, when you look at Rutgers has a gentleman by the name of Ron Harper Jr. Yeah, and they put work in. They play hard, good defense. They come at you, they attack, and they're not afraid. It's gonna be dangerous. March Madness. You better start studying now, Black Thorn. You have it. It's gonna be hell in the hand.
I had a chance to see Rutgers in Maryland, and Maryland couldn't handle Rutgers. They just couldn't handle Rutgers, and they couldn't handle Ron Harper Jr., who I'm not used to seeing Rutgers in basketball, but they did a job on them. And Baylor seemed to be struggling. People have figured out how to beat Baylor. Kansas is struggling tonight against TCU. So they were down at halftime. So they may be going down as the number one team going into March Madness. But Black, give me your eye test on NCAA basketball.
Well, I said a couple weeks ago, I didn't see much with Baylor. I watched a little bit of Duke. To me, they're a little stronger when it all starts. But I love this parity, bro. I love it. I don't know how it came about, but I like it because for me, it opens up a March Madness for me because I really haven't had a chance to watch a lot of college football this season. So it kind of makes it a little wilder for me when my picks come along. I probably could do better this year than I did last year, and that's what I'm looking to do. So I'm gonna yield my time to you because as I used to haven't called you this in a while, Black Kid Millis. You all sit with what you have to say, bro.
All right, I'm gonna take it there from Duke. I think Duke is a good team, but they're not the same team as last year. And I was talking to my dad the other day because Duke is his team, and we both didn't see. He saw the game against NC State, and he said it started off the same way when NC State blew them out the week before. And I said, it seems to me when Duke gets in trouble, they go to a zone. And he said that's exactly what they did. And so you don't have the players. If you can shut down Jones and Stanley, they have a big man at Duke, but he's not as dominant as a Zion Williamson or any other the guys that they had before. So he's not really going to, even though he's third in the ACC in scoring, he's not really a guy that's going to take over like an Asabuki in Kansas. And so the guys that really fuel that team is Stanley, the off guard, and the point guard Jones. And you got to have great guard play in the tournament. I think once teams kind of figure out that once you shut down those two, that Duke really doesn't have anything else. They have a solid kind of fundamental team, but they're just not the team. And I'm not a Duke fan, but I don't like the criticism of Duke. I think we're used to seeing Duke kind of dominate, but they're just not the same team. And you know, Coach K is doing, I think, a fantastic job in coaching. But you can only coach so much. You need the talent to coach. I got a chance to see Kentucky last night. They're kind of scary. They're always young, and they're a little bit inexperienced. And so I don't see them going very far in the tournament. But like I said, that SEC conference tournament is going to be a head scratcher because you got teams like Texas A&M who are hungry now and they're peaking at the end of the season. And so they can knock off the top teams like Auburn, LSU, Kentucky, and Florida and those other teams. You know, any given game they could do it. But I'm not sure, and I know you and I talked about this in the overtime show. They were talking about almost 11 teams in the Big Ten going into the tournament. I don't agree with that because it seems like the Big Ten, when they put all those teams in the tournament, after the first week, less than half of them are there. So why always put those, you know, why the Big Ten? Are they kind of like the power conference now? Everybody's looking to it saying this is the conference that is kind of like the shining star of college basketball?
See, I wouldn't say that. I just think that the Big Ten right now is so competitive. I mean, usually when you have a team, you have a conference that's dominant, and you go, oh, wow, this team is great. The first 5 teams are dynamite. You're all mine, they're amazing. But has not been the case with the Big Ten. It's been more of a injury plague kind of battle it out. Because you think about it from the standpoint of Maryland's at the top. Maryland just lost the other night. Right. Maryland took an L when they came to Columbus recently. You had teams like that. Michigan was supposed to be up there. Michigan has dropped down. Look at Penn State. Penn State has dropped down. You go from Michigan State, all the way around. Illinois is making noise. So my point of this is that it is so competitive. I think that's why people are looking at them, because there's no clear-cut winner. But the question is, from another conference, do you want to play that team? Because a lot of teams in the Big Ten have done well against top 25 teams. So I think that's why they're getting their love. Not so much that they're dominant, but they're beating each other up. And then when they usually end up playing other teams, like I said, Indiana beat San Diego State early on. Right. San Diego State getting all kind of love. So why they may not be doing great in the conference because of the other foes, they are holding their own nationally.
There's DePaul. I've been watching them all year, and I'm not sure if they're going to get in the tournament, even though they've upset a lot of good teams, especially in the Big East. They just knocked off Marquette. And it's the same story with Marquette, too. If you could contain Howard, you could beat Marquette. Black, and I'll give it to Ice, and then I'll give it to Black. What do you think about DePaul's chances and Marquette's chances of getting in?
I think DePaul has to hit 20 games. I'm not sure what their record is right now. They cannot get in minus 20 games. I might even be 21. Mm-hmm. But when you look at Marquette, as you said it, Howard can drop. The other night, when they played Villanova or Seton Hall, he had like 37, and he scored half the points. But if you stop him and nobody else scores, or you just kind of shut them down, you can beat them. I don't think DePaul is going to get in unless they have 20-plus victories. In regards to Marquette, I don't know. I think they're on the cusp too. They might have 18 wins. I don't think they get in without 20. As much as you have one of the best players and it's going to be dynamite in the NBA, the team overall is really shaky right now.
Black, I'm always saying that if you don't win or have a winning record in your conference, you really don't deserve to get into the tournament unless you do really well in the conference tournament. What are your thoughts about all these teams, the bubble teams, the Big Ten kind of getting a nod, or maybe getting 11 or 12 teams in this year? What are your thoughts about the tournament ahead?
Well, there's always some teams that kind of sneak in and get in there you don't kind of expect to get in. And I'm sure that the cat that you two are talking about, historically, is going to be probably playing in the NBA next year. They would love to have that kid in the tournament. So it wouldn't be surprised to me if they kind of get into their conference play and they do well and they sneak in, because the tournament wants stars in there. They may never come out and say it, but they'll find a way to do some things and tweak and get in. I'm curious to see what some teams are on the bubble that's going to make it. I saw some people talking about Clemson. I'm not sure how they're going to kind of pull it through. But I think there's going to be a lot of teams this year that's going to be sitting around, going to be disappointed on a tournament on the Sunday that they kind of put teams in.
Yeah, I'm predicting that when the conference tournaments happen, a lot of teams are going to be upsetting the top seeded teams in those conferences and punching their ticket in with probably losing records or losing conference records and taking a spot from a team that we think deserves to be in. It could be a mid-major or it could be one of the majors that kind of get picked off because they're not playing really well at the end of the season, or they may have a hurt player that's not ready to go. And then the committee says, you know, this may not be a good time for them to get in the tournament. They're going to get blown out anyway. I'm not going to say it, Black. I'm not going to say expand the tournament to more games because I always say around this time of year, I won't be around. I'll be out of the country when the tournament happens. So I'm gonna try my best to kind of tune in the internet or something like that. This is the first year that I'm not gonna be watching live, and this is hurting. This is hurting real bad.
Black Door is your chance, buddy. You're coming second.
Ice Water, any other thoughts about the tournament ahead?
I just want Black Door to get ready. This is your chance. He's going out of the country. This is your chance to come in second. I'm trying to tell you. He's not going to be able to see a lot. You can be close in the first round. This is your time. So you better pay close attention. You don't want a man from overseas to beat you when he has not seen any of the game.
I have beat Puma in the States. I ain't worried about this.
And he's trying to become a 3-time champion. AFL.
I'm gonna get off the beaten path a little bit and get back to boxing, man. You called this, Ice, Wilder Fury again in the summer, and this is madness in July. So he's keeping Mark Breland. What are your thoughts on this?
I'm gonna say this real quick. He had a moment where he wanted to get rid of everybody. He wanted to blame everybody but himself. You know, Mark Breland saved your life, bro. If Mark Breland didn't throw the towel in, you would have been getting this third fight. I'm just saying. So he had to really think about that. And you can say what you want to. Mark Breland has been there, bro. So I don't know. I'm sure Fury is going to come with the same attitude. I just think that unless he comes in Wilder with a different game plan, it's probably the same thing unless he catches him. And I don't see Fury letting that happen. He's going to have to throw that jab. He's going to have to throw the jab. And he's going to have to, I think lastly on this for me, I think he's going to have to not try to gain weight. You got to just be who you are, bro. Because you can move around from that man and pop you looked up with that jab. That's who you are. You tried to change because he got bigger. You wanted to get bigger. And you paid for it. He has got to change differently. And I'm finally giving it to you because that one punch, unless he catches it, he's not going to get it. You have to do more. And the question is, in this short period of time, is he willing to do that? He said, you willing to die, as he like to say often, to do what he got to do to win? Then that means you need to learn how to box a little bit, bro. Move around and catch that man the way you're supposed to catch him. And hit him in the body. Damn. Anyway.
He got so much body, I can't see why you be missing.
Yeah. Anyway.
Black, this is what you want, man. Joshua's defending his title in June. You got Fury and Wilder 3 going back at it. It might go beyond what they made in February. What are your thoughts about this? They're getting ready to strap it up and do it again in July.
Oh, it's definitely gonna make more money, man. It's gonna definitely make more money, and it's gonna kind of here again. It's gonna elevate heavyweight boxing a little bit more. And to me, I mean, he may not be ready. I don't think he's gonna do anything different than what he did last time. But for the state of boxing, this is what boxing needs. You don't need to basically these guys talk for the next 9 months and 10 months, then decide they're gonna fight again. Get back in the ring and slug it out, man. Slug it back out. I'm happy to see that they're doing this. I kind of thought that he had to do this just kind of as a man. You got to step back out there, bro. You can't run from this. You're already basically signed on the dotted line. You would possibly fight him. So, yeah, you got to go back in. But I think it does a lot for the heavyweight division of boxing. It's going to be a lot more excitement around this. People that didn't watch last time will put the money down and want to see this one, and it's going to bring more excitement. So, yes, man. I don't think the outcome is going to be any different, but I think it's going to be worth basically watching. The hype is going to be tremendous.
Yeah, I'm just, I don't even want to see the hype anymore. I just get to the fight. But when you said that he has to step in there and he's already signed the contract, it reminded me of when Hearns and Hagler fought. And they asked Hearns after the fight, when did you know you were in trouble? And he said, when I signed the contract. So
he should have said when he broke his right hand and that man didn't leave.
There's another boxing story that I want to talk about, and I don't know if you two saw this interview with Mike Tyson. And it was kind of scary to me to watch Mike Tyson. I know he's been going through some changes, and he's been more humble and really kind of the nicer, milder Mike Tyson. But he was talking about how, you know, sometimes he feels like a bitch. Yeah, he feels like a punk, that he's not the same that he was. And he says if that person ever came back, there's going to be hell to pay. I don't know if you were able to see that interview, Black, but what do you think about some of the statements that Mike Tyson made in this? And he was in tears, like he was like fighting back this old Iron Mike Tyson attitude and person, because he's like, you know, I'm not that person anymore, but I can't let that person kind of take over because there'll be hell to pay if he ever came back out.
I remember years ago when Mike Tyson was in jail, and Star Jones did one of the best interviews I've ever seen. She sat down with Mike Tyson in jail and they talked, and Mike was a totally different person. And now I remember that, and I thought then a lot what we saw of Mike Tyson was an act, bro. It was what they kind of pumped him up, what they made him how to be. It's like they inject him, you got to be this, you got to be that to kind of sell. And I think at this stage in his life, bro, he's confused. He's just really drastically confused. He doesn't know who he is. He doesn't know what to be. He has been putting on for so long, been fronting for so long. It's hard for him to be anything different. And what happens is if you act that way for so long, it becomes part of who you are, man. It becomes your makeup. That's why he's bound. He's conflicted because if he doesn't be what he used to be, we don't even talk about Mike Tyson. Last time we talked about Mike Tyson, think about it. The last time we talked about it was about him maybe selling marijuana. Not about anything he did in the ring. So I'm sure it's a lot going on in his head, so it doesn't surprise me, bro. It does not surprise me, but who knows what's going to happen, but it doesn't sound good.
Ice, I know Mike Tyson ain't one of your favorite characters since got on the scene, but I'm joking when I'm saying that. But I don't know if you saw the interview. It was kind of eerie to see that it's almost like he's struggling not to be the old Mike Tyson. And we remember the old Mike Tyson used to be destructive. He was at one point depressed and almost suicidal, if you will. And I mean, just total, destroying anything that came in his way. What are your thoughts about some of the things that he was kind of confessing, saying, I don't want to go back to that old guy because if I do, then, you know, I'm going to go back to that destructive ways.
My heart goes out to him. And I say that, and I say this about a lot of athletes. We as sports fans and other people just expect somebody to be a certain way. That's who he was in the boxing ring. He's more than that, man. And granted, as you say, we haven't talked about him. What has he done? But hell, why should he have to do that, man? That whole behavior, besides winning the titles, was destructive. It was destructive on that man. You can tell how it is. So now he's a stay-at-home father. He's selling weed, he'll do whatever. But he has a life. He has something that's worthwhile. He has a wife that loves him. They have a house that is paid for. And he's taking care of his children. He's a regular guy. Why does he have to go back to what he was? I mean, I understand that that's what you want him to be, but damn, why can't the man be happy? I mean, you see he's struggling with it. When I heard that and I saw it, my heart went out to him because, like, you have to always be on stage. Damn, I mean, why can't a person that's an athlete, because he's never going to fight again. That's how it was. Why can't he now have some peace in his life? seems like he does have a little bit about that. But we always want him to be, yeah, come on, Iron Mike. That shit's over. It's over. And all I'm saying is, get off this real quick. Knowing some good athletes, some athletes that have been hellified. If you really care about these individuals and these guys, let them live their lives, man. I know he's out there in the spotlight and stuff, but damn, my heart breaks for him. Because if he goes back to that, is he going to be alive?
No.
I mean, that's just me. And maybe you call me a punk. I'll be that. But I'd rather see the man at least with somebody that really gives a damn about him instead of everybody wanting his autograph, wanting to be some monster that he was back in the day. That's just me. I know that's a rant, but I'm sorry.
No, no problem. Because because he's saying, he was trained to do that. He was trained to destroy. And it's almost like veterans who are in the armed forces, when they're trained a certain way, and then you ask them to go back to civilian life, they have struggles with that because some of them are trained killers. And it's almost like he was trained to go in and destroy anybody in front of him. And he's struggling on how do you come out of that and live a regular life like everybody else. Black, you wanted to say something?
No, that's what I was just saying earlier, man. That basically was put together. He was put together to be, Iron Mike Tyson. And I think, too, underneath that fanfare, he may not say that, but Mike is missing people talking about him. He's missing being out there. Because that adulation, man, has to do something to you, bro. Because Mike, let's think about it, for years, Mike was loved and adored by a lot of people, man. And now get you as being something of a freak show. That's tough, bro. But want to like Ice said, there's nothing wrong. Being a punk, living, whatever. Do what you got to do, man. You got to find a life outside of that fanfare, that adulation that can be suitable for you and go on to live. And it sounds like you set up kind of well. There has to be enough for you, bro. It has to be.
Yeah, I
drop off.
Yeah, I love the way he is now. Just calm, not getting in trouble, just relaxed, taking care of his kids. I like that. I like that. I didn't like to see Mike wrecking cars and depressed and walking like he was a caged animal. I mean, that was great for the fight. Right. But after that, you're retired now. And, I'll look at the old videotapes if I want to see that. But I'm glad that Mike is not in trouble or not womanizing and not doing all the crazy stuff he was doing and getting into and jumping off stage trying to go after people. I don't want to see that. I just want to remember you as one of the best that ever went out there and did it. And then you had your time, and then you gave it up, and you're still revered, you're still respected, and you're still loved for what you did. So you don't have to feel like a bitch or a punk. I hope you get a hold of this. You don't have to feel that way, man. We got you. You one of the best, man. That's it. It's over. Talk. Just over. Let's talk about the draft real quick, Black. I don't know how the NFL stays in news cycles, but they do. And they grab any story and they run with it, and it seems to overshadow the NBA. And you said this before, the NBA, Major League Baseball, it's like year-round NFL football. What are you hearing about the draft? Because I know we're going to be talking about the mock draft earlier, about who wants to go where or who's going to select who, what, where. I know in Bear Country, they're talking about getting your boy Andy Dalton and someone else to kind of back up Trubisky. But if they bring Andy Dalton in, Trubisky is history. Black, your thoughts?
I'm not sure if you're not, but yeah, I agree. If they bring Andy Dalton in, he is history. It's funny, man. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to toss it back to you to give the ice. NFL, they made that baseball cheating go away, didn't they? They took that story back, didn't they?
Baseball is very thankful.
But A-Rod brought it. There's some news about A-Rod talking about, I guess in preseason, that these guys deserve everything they're going to get because he got everything that he deserved after spending a year out. So, but I digress. The NFL draft, brother.
Man, look, I'm going to just say this. Always going after baseball.
You don't like baseball.
I see. Now you got minor leaguers talking about, well, if I had not pitched against them, they knew my signs, I'd be in the majors right now. No, you suck. You need to work on your damn game. How about that? Anyway, looking at the draft, bro. Damn. Give me a trophy. I haven't done anything. Anyway, but
that new Hennessy is doing great wonders for you, Ice. That's what I had to say.
when you get at this draft, man, a lot of things you look at. I'm looking at the Colts at like 13, and they can get like a wide receiver like CeeDee Lamb. That'd be awesome. If somebody sleep on him, they need somebody like that. The Bengals picking up maybe T. Higgins in the second round, something like that. And something I was looking at too, and I hope this works. I'm gonna let my Cowboy fan come out. At 51 in the second round, the Cowboys can pick up Justin Jefferson from LSU. Man, that's what they need right now. They need some of that right now. You need another wide receiver that can catch the ball. And then two, last but not least, in the second round, the Dolphins possibly could pick up J.K. Dobbins. I think they need a running back that could really help them. There's a lot going on out there, a lot of talent. It'd be interesting to see what happens. The thing, too, what you mentioned about Tua, whether or not Washington's gonna pick him, that's crazy. They better stick with Chase Young.
Well, one of the things I was seeing in the combine is that the Alabama receivers, man, they're getting a lot of love. They're getting a lot of love and they're getting a lot of looks. Belichick is not even at the combines. He's checking out somebody else, this unknown talent that nobody has really kind of tapped into. I'll come back with more of that maybe a little later or next week. He wasn't even at the combine, so I don't know what he's looking for, and I don't know whether or not he's even paying attention to Tom Brady at this particular moment. But Black, are you hearing anything about the draft up east in the papers or on the radio?
No, but the main focus, like Ice just said, that Washington's thinking about taking two. I don't understand that one at all. I just don't get it. You got a chance to grab Chase Young. You got to take on number two. Anything about trading out that pick, you'd be a dummy. And when I say a dummy, you'll be a serious dummy to trade out a number two when you get Chase Young. If you looked at if anything, the 49ers has taught us in the past couple of years, stack yourself a good defense and go play. And you got to get Chase Young, man. You have to. But that's like been the biggest talk, basically, what Washington's thinking about doing. And whether Joe Burrows is he going to stay in Cincinnati, which I think he's going to basically stay there if they draft him. But if I was him, I would pull Eli or John Elway and get out of the way. But that's been it.
All right, we're going to wrap it up here on the First 40. We will see you in overtime on Blog Talk Radio. Subscribe to this channel, YouTube channel. This is the First 40 with the Goon Squad Sports Radio Show. Take care.